Welcome, good evening, my friends, and welcome back to the Dennis Herrera Show. And as you can see, there is a freeze frame of some guy. This is probably a guy that doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. That is me, my friends, 4 months ago. And yes, this is a little bit of cliche, but I am going to play a video uh, with myself. Brian, what's up? Jay is ready to vote in Washington State. Let's go. And Brian really finally got his notification. Well. We're going to continue what we started not too long ago. I do have information. Let me take a look at my notification here. I went to my bank, made a deposit. It was very dry, deposited some money, and the gain device that I need, it's on its way here. Unfortunately, I'm not going to get it until probably around 9 or 10 is said. So, but the next time, tomorrow, hi, Tanya, how are you? Popcorn Willie, let's go. Pop it like it's hot. I will have it for tomorrow for sure. And I have to play with this. So we'll see. We'll try to figure something out. My man, what's going on, my man? Man, I get so excited to be here with you guys every day. It's like this is actually a dream job, so to speak. Jay said, make Northgate Mall and every mall great again. Man, Jay, man, you mentioned that, bro. It is sad to go to the Every Mall. It's just not the same. I would say I've never been like a big fan, even when I was in high school or a long time ago. But I went not too long ago with my kids there, and it's just so dead, man. It's just such a drag. Where a lot of businesses, it's always expensive to rent, a place. What up, I am? It's always what was I saying? It's always a drag, man, when you see that there is businesses in the mall. It's going to be expensive, right, at the mall. But um, it used to be like business was popping. You know what I'm saying? So businesses, yeah, when they didn't sell, of course, eventually they go out of business depending on what they're selling. But now it's like, man, you walk to the mall and there's so many empty stores, and it's just like, what the hell happened? And is one of those things to where if we keep voting for the same thieves, nothing's going to change. Nothing's going to change. Now, if you see me there on freeze frame, this is a video that I made before I flew down to Honduras. I was asking for 100 subscribers. That was the goal, 100 subscribers. And I made this video just before I got on the plane to go down to Honduras. And while I was in Honduras, is when I actually started getting a lot of views on my channel. So we technically started this channel on July, August, September, October. We've been on for about 4 months, and we just haven't looked back yet. And I don't think that we're going to look back. I believe we won't look back. Jay, only thing busy at the mall is McDonald's, man. Sadly, let's see. Hi, Trinity. How are you, sis? Welcome back to the Dennis Herrera Show. Where crazy meets crazy. All right. It looks like we have a lot of just patriots in here. I like it. No trolls, my friend. Salud. Stay thirsty. I like it. I can't wait until we have like 1,000 subscribers watching and we just edifying each other with information. Trinity, I'm going to play this video of this MAGA guy here that is right here underneath me, right there. And this is me 4 months ago. Check this out. Well, never mind. We do have a troll. Christopher Chavez, welcome to the MAGA room, where Americans are put first. Salud, my friend. All right. I'm going to let myself from the past talk to you a little bit about what's happening right now, today. All right. I hope you guys enjoy this, and hopefully I don't lose the few patrons that I have on here. All right. Here we go, guys. Talk about a couple of things, obviously, but I am getting ready for my trip. I am very tired, as you guys can see. I have some friends and family waiting for me internationally. So I will give you guys an update, either when I'm down there or when I come back. But I am really concerned because as you guys have seen some of my videos, I have been talking about the Democrats being lost, and now all we have is really communists. And, you would think that saying communist is not a bad thing, but the problem is, as we have known throughout history, it doesn't work. Nobody wants to be, in the United States, wants to be like Russia or China or Venezuela or even Cuba. Communism just doesn't work. And now we have this problem with this guy named Zoran Mandini. I think it's Mandini. I have Mandani. There you go. Yeah, Mandani. Mankami. I have a problem with this guy because, we are a country based on capitalism, and we run our economy in capitalism. And capitalism, what it means to me is that you are able to do business and you can create as much wealth as you want for yourself. Now, I agree with that because I'm a guy that believes on merit. If you work hard, you should be rewarded a lot, right? And I mean, as long as you're not taking advantage of some people, if you're not stealing, and you're being honest, I'm 100% capitalist. Now, socialism works in small areas, but even then, it can be corrupted. I know of places where socialism is the system that small villages use. And it has come to be good when the leaders are honest and the people are not greedy.
For example, if you have a small village and you create a house of 3 bedrooms, right, for a family of 3, then you have another family of 3. Well, you create another house, 3 bedrooms, for another family of 3. Now I'm giving you, like, probably the worst example, but just to go along with me, okay? And then you have a family that has 5 people. Well, now you have to create a 4 bedroom house. Then you have a 3 bedroom house, another 3 bedroom house.
Hey, Cutting Edge, what's popping, baby? Today we have double Dennis Herrera for our libtards to get some more tears. Double the tears, double the pleasure. You guys enjoy. Pay attention. You guys don't listen. You guys just want to insult. That's why you guys never listen to anything, and you never learn anything. So pay attention to this guy from 4 months ago.
And this is socialism. You are dividing wealth according to the need. And so, how does that make it fair for somebody that's working so hard just to feed their family? And because another family has more people, they get more of the wealth that one creates. You would think, in theory, this is not going to be a bad thing. But the problem becomes when you have people that are lazy, they don't want to go to work, and it doesn't matter in socialism. For example, I can be a rich person, right? Let's just say you're a rich person, and I'm poor. I don't work. I'm not poor because I'm working hard and I just can't make it. It's just so hard to make it. No, no, no. That's not how it is. I'm just lazy. I don't want to work. But you're rich, so it doesn't matter. I need you to distribute your wealth with me because I have 3 children and my 3 children need support. It doesn't make sense, does
Feed
it?
my children.
So, that's probably the worst example somebody can give, but that's how I understand it. And I've seen it, and it fails. It fails big time, every single time. Now, I have been talking about communists because the Democratic Party has gone so far left. It is unrecognizable. It seems that they have gone back to the slavery days, except now they don't want to slave black people and actually put them in encampments. Actually, they are putting them in encampments, aren't they? But, it's the wealthy that are getting away with not paying wages to these illegal immigrants. And, illegal immigrants come over here and, they make 10, 15, 20 dollars an hour. And they're like, oh my God, that's a lot of money. I need to come to the States and my whole family needs to come over here as well. Well, it doesn't really work that way, and when you have too many people come in at once, the states, the cities, they just can't afford to accommodate so many people at once. The system is based so that as Americans' population, keeps repopulating or multiplying, there's a census that goes around, and they see how many people are in this city. Well, there's a budget for a particular number of people, and a forecast of new people that are going to be born. And so they kind of see that, right? And even some people that might be moving from other states, etc. But when you have millions of people that overshadow the population of over 34 states, that is crazy.
42.
Very crazy. So with that being said, let me go in and talk about this moron, Mandani. He wants to come in and he sees a lot of white people that have a lot of money, and this is the money that he wants to get. Now, there's a lot of illegal immigrants in New York.
Dear Rickson, Democrats are the KKK founders. Don't forget that. Now listen so you can learn something. Berniel, welcome, my friend. Welcome to the chat. Rush, babe, how are you? Welcome, welcome, freshly. My best propaganda manager. Got us to 10,000 subscribers. Let's go. Woo! Can't believe it. So, guys, Berniel, this is me 4 months ago when I started my channel the beginning of July. This was just a few hours before my trip down to Honduras, where I went and I actually asked Hondurans what they thought about President Trump. Well, a lot of people didn't like him, but they also thought that a lot of immigrants that came here illegally were bringing shame to Honduras. And isn't that wonderful? Yeah, that's right. So let's listen to this guy from 4 months ago, guys. 4 months ago. I was asking for 100 subscribers. Well, we got 1,000% more than that.
And we know this. There's a lot of illegal immigrants all throughout the states, but in New York in specific. And I want you to pay really, really close attention to this, because it's not even about the illegal immigration. It's not even about that. Granted, 100%, everybody illegal has got to go. And it's sad, guys. I know it's sad. Believe me, when I see people that are working hard, man, I wish that they can stay. But listen, they got to go, man. This is not their home. They got to work hard in their country. Help your country is what I say. Go back to your country, and because you're a hard worker, well, work hard over there and help that country become better. If all the hard workers come to the United States, man, those countries are not going to have any hope for the future. So we need to send their hard workers back to their country. That was pretty good right there. I got to say that.
It was.
But it's true, though. Now,
well done, Dennis. God, man, this guy is on point, man. This guy's on point. This guy that just came in, he just missed the point of what actually brings shame to one's country. He missed the point, but it's okay. We don't care.
Now, what is the real problem about illegal immigration, and why it should be your concern? It's my concern because I'm looking at things from a different perspective. Like, for example, did you guys forget about 9/11 already?
Oh, damn.
About the terrorist attack? Those Muslims that came and destroyed the Twin Towers? They don't exist anymore. Do you remember how New Yorkers were over there running for their lives, scared shitless? Oh, there was no color then. There was no hating Jews at that time. There was no racism towards black people.
Damn.
Everybody came together out of fear. Everybody started saying, Lord, please forgive me.
Yeah.
Everybody started shouting to God for mercy.
Yeah.
Everybody going crazy because of this Muslim radical terrorist that came over here, and they did a pretty big number. Now, George Bush, at that time, he says we don't negotiate with terrorists. And boy, did he make them pay. And I'll tell you what, every country that has attacked the United States has paid dearly. Their leaders are found and destroyed. They're killed, destroyed. So what do they do now? The next tactic, and this is a lot easier to deal with. The next tactic is, we're going to go to the United States, and instead of sending bombs, instead of, threatening war, instead of doing this, we're going to take positions in government. Now, if I try to run for government, I need a lot of money. Or I need a lot of votes. And it's a lot harder to get votes. Well, it's a lot harder to get money as well, but you can raise money. And so what happens? There is people in here, like this Mandani guy in New York. He is a communist. Now, he calls himself a Democrat socialist. It's the same shit. He's a communist. And he hates Jews, even though he says that he wants to put 800% more money into fighting, what did he say? Anti-hating groups, I think. Anti-Semitism is bullcrap. I don't believe that. What did he say? Anti-hate crime, I think is what it was. You guys probably know already. So, the point is that he is running on this campaign thinking that the American people are just stupid. And who knows? Yeah, maybe a lot of them are. I see them on the street smiling at him, supporting him. I see
them in my chat here when I'm live.
some retarded white people out there that think that they're supporting a great cause, but they don't know that they're supporting the destruction of their city and eventually their country. But I'm going to get back to my point. They do not attack us with missiles anymore, at least not yet. What they want is, they want to send their people to infiltrate the United States. They don't even profess that they love the United States. And maybe because of podcasts or comments like this, they probably will say that later. But right now, they are being part of the government. And what do we see? we see terrorist groups being created anonymously. Now, when I say anonymously, they're being created under a different name. But what they really are is they're sowing hate in our people, in our youth. And they use the victimhood because we are such empathetic people. We're such sympathetic with people and emotions. We like to help. We don't like to see people in pain. We don't like to see people suffering. As a matter of fact, we have gotten so soft that there's a lot of children out there growing up, talking to their parents, cussing them out because they don't have the guts to discipline their kids. And they think that they're doing good by not disciplining them, but they don't know that they're actually making a big terrorist for the future in their life.
Damn.
And so we have these communists coming in here. They're coming to our universities. Excuse me. They're coming into our universities, and they sow hate in all the students, and all these students. You can see them. They're so hateful. There is no compassion for human life. I'll give you the example of Israel, Gaza. They don't say, let's condemn Hamas. No, let's condemn Israel from the river to the sea. That means that they're going to want to wipe them out of the map. Now, a Palestine life doesn't mean shit to me if you think it's better than Israel's lives, if you think it's better than any other life on this planet. Now, a life for a life, that means a lot to me. And I think a lot of Palestinians and Israelites get along just fine. There's a difference within Israel, Iran, and all these terrorist groups. These Palestinians, the guys that are causing trouble, they're hateful. They don't love human life. They're just a racist in a certain way. They call it anti-Semitism. That's the same shit as racist. At least to me, the hate is just the same as equal. But this guy wants to bring in some crazy stuff that is not going to help the New Yorkers. It's not going to help the United States, because they're infiltrating our government. And the goal is they're going to attack the billionaires, the rich people. And what they're going to do is they're going to take that money, and they say they're going to give it to the poor. And they say that they're going to give free housing. And then they're going to make a chain of food markets owned by the government. That's communism, by the way. And this is why he says that he's a Democrat socialist. We're not stupid. I believe his dad is a Marxist, and he was trained very well to be a Marxist. He smiles, and he's got that Middle Eastern look, and people kind of feel like, hey, you know what? It's time to give minorities a chance. But they don't fool me, and I hope that they don't fool many of you. I'm making this video before I get on my plane tonight, just a few hours. I'm about to take my plane. But I'm making this video because I think it's very important that we pass the word around. I only got a couple of subscribers here and there, which, by the way, I want to reach 100 subscribers in the next couple of weeks. I want you guys to please help me out. Hit the share, subscribe, and like, and I'll really appreciate it. Okay,
I needed 50 subscribers so that I can start doing live streaming. I didn't even have 50. I had like 20 or 30 something subscribers, which took forever for my channel to get. My videos were not showing at all. So I got very few views on my videos, which is why it's taken so long for my channel to go. But starting in July, I finally got 50 subscribers, and my first live stream was about 46,000 views, I believe. And very interesting. I wanted to make that video before I left, and man, look how young I look 4 months ago, guys. So young. Oh man, I love you, bro. Thank you for telling us the truth. Let's go ahead and before do a couple more minutes.
I'll try to make a video as well while I'm on my trip. But it is very important that we stay focused with this illegal immigration. Why? Because guys like Mandani in New York, he is trying to protect.
Wait a minute. That's my video, Holmes. That's my video. That's me. I'm live. That's me. 4 months ago. What the hell are you talking about, scammer? What this? Oh, this is pre-recorded? No shit, Sherlock. Do I look pre-recorded to you? Bro, these haters, bro. Seriously. Wow. You know what? Double me for you tards. Enjoy it.
Sanctuary cities. Now, I live here, right, in Washington State, and Seattle is a sanctuary city, and we can see how that is messing up the whole state. Violence has been multiplied greatly.
Ryan and Luis Montalvo, they're trolls, they're bots. They're programmed to just say nonsense out of nothing and pretend to be real, but don't believe them. Derek in the house, welcome, sir, welcome.
A lot of illegal immigrants going everywhere, and a lot of money, millions and millions of dollars is going from taxpayers' money into these illegal immigrants. And whether people want to believe me or not, they are using the healthcare system that belongs to the American citizens.
4 months ago.
They keep making babies over here. They're overpopulating, not with American citizens, but with fake American citizens that don't love this country. They will always fight for illegal immigration. They will always fight for their parents' country.
Yep.
And this is why I believe that the nationality should be of that parents' country, because the loyalty by nature on those children will be to the country of their parents.
Yep. Yeah.
And that is actually a very good argument that I can make. It's not in the Constitution that illegal immigrants can have babies here and they will become citizens. I got some in my family that have become citizens that way, but I don't believe that's right because the parents were not legal. And maybe my family can hate me for making that comment, but it's the truth. And as a person that believes in God and the Bible, I have to always tell the truth and be honest about it. And I think that the moment that I deny that is the time that I become a hypocrite. Now, I love my family dearly, but the law is what it is. And even though right now it has been abused and misinterpreted, I'm sure that it's going to be corrected. And at that time, well, a lot of things can happen. Hopefully the people that are citizens don't get their citizenship lost. But going forward, after the situation gets fixed, it'll be null to have a citizen from illegal parents. Okay, now what is the reason why I talk about sanctuary cities besides millions and hundreds of millions of dollars being of American taxpayers going into these programs? Because if Mandani gets in office, which I really doubt, I'm hopeful that New Yorkers are not that stupid. If Mandani becomes in office,
I was wrong. New Yorkers are really stupid.
He can bring illegal radical Muslims into this country and place them in sanctuary cities in New York.
Ooh.
And little by little, they're going to overpopulate New York City with Muslims.
Damn.
And before you know it, you're going to start hearing songs at 5 in the morning from the mosques, Muslim mosques. And they're going to start becoming violent when New Yorkers don't respect their Sharia law. And they're going to start hating the Americans, and they're going to become so great in numbers that they're going to overcome the population. And what else do we see on these sanctuary cities and by this communist coming in here as a Muslim to rule over New York as a mayor? Rich people, rich Muslims, they will take over the space where the rich Christians or rich Americans leave New York. They will come in and take a bargain, buying expensive buildings, probably for half, if not a fraction of the price that is actually worth. So you're going to have actual American billionaires or millionaires being replaced with American haters, radical Muslims, millionaires taking over their position. And by the number of illegal Muslims that will be allowed in this country, remember the day and remember the place where you heard this, because nobody's talking about this.
Bam.
But that is exactly what I see happening. It has happened all over the world. You can see this happening in Europe. It's already happening. It's just people don't know how it happens. But these people only come to countries where they're stupid enough to respect freedoms, not just for their citizens, but any person that comes into this country.
Damn.
And this is the reason why I always say the rights of the people are for residents and American citizens.
Damn.
The rights do not belong to visitors. Visitors need to respect the law,
Tell 'em, brother.
respect the people,
Tell 'em,
and
brother.
respect the land.
Amen.
People that come over here illegally, especially,
Damn.
don't deserve to be here, period. And as sad as it is for us to see people that are working hard being deported, it has to happen. For the protection, for the national security of this country, it needs to be respected that way. Now, if you agree with me, go ahead and share this video. You can clip it and you can share that thought. But I'm telling you right now, what I'm telling you is the truth. And I'm sure that if you look into it, you will see what I'm talking about. Illegal immigrants will come into New York, a lot worse than what it has been. They'll probably put a stop to Hispanics, but they will bring a lot more Muslims, or they will try to convert people.
Yep.
And how are they going to convince people? By offering them free housing,
Oh,
by offering free health care,
damn.
offering free babysitters. Everybody wants to be lazy,
Man.
and they don't care that somebody governs them. If somebody's a tyrant, they don't care, as long as they have free housing, as long as they have free food, as long as they are lazy, they don't have to go to work, they don't care. But you see, this is why they have third world countries. This is why their countries are shitholes,
Yep.
because of people like that.
Yep.
This is what they say. Now, I actually see people in Europe complaining because they put them in these small apartments while they wait for them to get an actual house. Free, by the way. Free house. And these are Muslims that are coming from other countries asking Europeans for help. And
Illegally.
the Europeans are bending over backwards, providing housing for these illegal immigrants while their citizens are suffering and having to pay higher taxes, have to pay more money. The same stuff is happening here in the United States. And we're not stupid. Not all of us are blind.
That's
Some
right.
of us are actually paying attention.
Tell him, brother.
And I'm not going to say that I'm prophesizing on this, but you can use common sense and you can see what I'm talking about. Illegal immigration, sanctuary cities, a communist person that's going to be a mayor of the city is going to call for rich Americans to leave New York and for radical Muslim rich people to move in and take over those buildings.
Damn.
It is easier to
Man, you heard it here first, folks. You heard it here first. 4 months ago. Man. Like a boss, el jefe, el patrón. Call eyes. Call eyes. Dang, 4 months ago, right on the money. Dang. This was before the legacy media figured it out. They just mentioned this a couple of weeks ago. Common sense. It's not a prophecy. It's common sense. Damn, brother. Dang. Oh, that is crazy. Man. Don't hate. Celebrate. 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 Hey, you don't like the music, bro? What's wrong with you? It's just how we do, baby. Telling the truth will always set you free. We don't talk bull crap. You guys have been brainwashed. I don't need no CNN, no Fox News to come and tell me what I figure out on my own. Let's go like a boss. Everybody that is a patriot to this country agree with me on the chat. So you losers' opinions don't matter. All right, guys, I want to thank you so much for being here again. Trolls, you can now dismiss yourselves. Thank you for coming in and cheering me up, getting me going, getting the juices flowing. Wait. I got something else to give you. Here we go. Let me play something for you. I got something for you. I got something. Now, if you don't hear the sound, let me know. Okay? If you don't hear the sound, because I can't hear it myself.
Sir, it is my esteemed pleasure to introduce Mr. and Mrs. Donald Trump.
It's the Donald! Oh my God!
Mr. and Mrs. Trump, it's an honor to meet you. Ron said his client had a rich uncle, but Donald Trump.
I like keeping a low profile.
Hi, Hillary Banks.
Listen.
You know, you look much richer in person.
Hey, Mr. Trump. Hey, how you doing? Will Smith. Hey, listen, you are getting a great house here, and this is quite a deal you're getting for it too. I'm gonna tell you what. You want another 50 grand? I cut the grass for you every Saturday.
Look, folks, before we go too far, I've got something to tell you.
Excuse me, but I've got something to tell you first. Thank you for ruining my life.
Ashley!
What did you do?
Everybody's always blaming me for everything.
That's it. I know everybody blames me for everything. Man, that was in the 90s, guys, in the 90s. That was phenomenal, man. Love it. I hope you guys enjoy that clip. You guys can share that clip if you want to. It's all good. If you can record it, do it. It's all good. Now, on our earlier, just blame Trump, guys. If you suck, blame Trump. If you're lazy and you don't like to work, blame Trump. If the government gets shut down by Democrats, don't worry. Just blame Donald Trump. It's easier that way. When your governor doesn't know how to run a budget in their state, they just blame Trump. It works. Look at Gavin Newsom. He's got so many followers because why? He blames Trump. It just works. It really just works. Now, let's go ahead and take a listen here to our most beloved, Mr. Besant.
Larry, I came away very optimistic. The Solicitor General presented a strong case for the president's use of the IEEPA, the emergency tariff powers, that President Trump has used to balance trade, to negotiate with the Chinese on fentanyl, to secure rare earth magnets, to get the Indians to stop buying Russian oil. And you know that the Solicitor General made a fantastic case that the purpose of the tariffs is to rebalance.
Bless my mother because she didn't want to bring me here illegally. We waited a long time. We went to the embassy twice. Never have I been illegal in this great nation of the USA. Eat your heart out, you lying snake, Luis.
Global trade. We were in an economic emergency. We were near a tipping point, and you know, you and I know exactly what that looks like. And President Trump has brought the U.S. back. On the other side, I thought that the plaintiffs almost embarrassed themselves. They clearly didn't understand foundational economics. They didn't understand the trade policy they were talking about. And I'm very optimistic after listening to the questions at SCOTUS that the IEEPA ruling is going to come President Trump and this administration's way.
Secretary Besant,
thank you, Derek.
What was your impression of the justices? What did you take away from the justices? Body language, actual questions. I mean, who knows how they're going to think and work this through? Well, you know, when you got out of the room or out of the court, what were you thinking?
I was very impressed with some of them, with their, you know, obviously broad and vast vast knowledge of legal history. Many of them had a very good understanding of the economic emergency, and many of them understood what President Trump was trying to do, in terms of trying to rebalance. And I think they came away understanding that the purpose of the tariffs, the revenue, the tremendous amounts of revenue that we are taking in, is coincident. And the real goal here is to rebalance our trading relationships and bring home manufacturing.
These illegals hate me because I think Americans are great people and they should be looked after first, especially in their own homeland. These illegal immigrants and some of the dumbass sympathizers don't understand that this country is great because we respect the law and we have allowed our American citizens to thrive, and now they want to give it away to foreigners. Yeah, great plan.
Manufacturing. So as I've said many times before, that a proper tariff policy will be a shrinking ice cube, that we will start out with high tariffs, but as the economy gets rebalanced, the tariffs will go down, manufacturing will increase in the U.S., and our domestic tax take will go up. And I think the justices understood that quite well.
Yeah, I mean, it's to some extent, I agree with you. To some extent, the revenues, the tariffs revenues are a byproduct of this new approach to regulating imports. I mean, I think that's it. Now, did they say anything about, how the revenues, like they're going to be very large in year one, okay? Whatever your number is, Mr. Secretary, 300 billion, 400 billion, I don't know what the right number is.
Trinity, our favorite melancholic, emotional wreck who goes by the name of Melody is back. Now, the ones who knew that this was going to cost children to starve, veterans to go without SNAP, all these benefits were going to get cut off, and oh my God, the whole country is going to have to pay the price. They said all of these horrible things will happen. And you know what they did? They shut the government down. How the hell do you miss that? It's right in front of your eyes. They said all these horrific things was going to happen, and they got the red button and they pushed it without a second thought. They didn't give a shit about the United States of America, nor your starving children, nor the veterans. And they flipped everything to hate Donald Trump. Let's just blame Donald Trump. You know what would have stopped them from hitting that red button? They losing their benefits, them losing their pay. Then they would have said, oh, no, we don't need to sacrifice the American people. We are American. Right. We're not stupid. And you're stupid for believing that it is Trump's fault. The Democrats keep voting negative, and Rand Paul is a little biatch who has joined the horrible terrorist Democrats that we have in office. How dare they hold our country hostage to get leverage on President Trump, which, by the way, we use democracy to put him in office. Shut the hell up and do what he says, because he's doing what we asked him to do.
How do they think, if they rule against this, IEPA, how do they think you're going to get rid of those revenues? How do you think you're going to turn them back? I mean, it would be a monstrous.
With that being said, hello, Amy.
I don't know, impossible task. Well, again, Larry, I'm optimistic, and we don't want to go into it, but I'm confident that the president's emergency powers, that we did have emergencies. The president has dealt with them. He's continuing to deal with them, and we will cross that bridge if we come to it. But I'm confident we won't have to.
So one other question: did the Solicitor General raise the point that foreign policy is really this other side of the same coin as trade policy, that the two are inseparable, and that the commander-in-chief, of course, has the play on foreign policy, that that's part of his inherent constitutional authority? Did that come up? Did justices react to that?
100%. And even the other side admitted, I mean, Larry, in a moment that was bordered on the absurd, one of the justices, I believe it may have been Justice Kavanaugh, they asked one of the plaintiff's attorneys, so what you're saying is the president has the ability.
So was Joe Biden a liar? Now you're making fun of people's disabilities. What happened to Hayden Trump because he makes fun of people's disabilities?
To put on a 100% embargo, but he doesn't have the ability to put on a 1% tariff. And the plaintiff's attorney was forced to agree, make an absurd statement.
I mean, almost every deal, I try to follow you. I don't know all the details. But let's say the Indo-Pacific coming back from Southeast Asia and so forth. So many of those trade deals, including one might say China, but certainly the other countries, Cambodia, Malaysia, Thailand, and so forth, Australia. So many of those deals have foreign policy components, or even defense policy components, or even defense policy trade components.
Well, Larry, as you and I have talked about, economic and security and national security are linked, and they cannot be separated. The president has ultimate control over national security. He has the control over foreign affairs. And, again, this reminds me of, I think you remember in President Trump's first term when people tried to say, oh, well, the president is allowed to secure the border, but he can't build a wall. Well,
yes,
how can you secure the safety and soundness of the United States, this emergency situation that we were in, whether it was fentanyl, the rare earths, the near tipping point we were at on the economy on these trade deficits, if
I don't stutter, so you know I'm telling the truth, don't you? You can go ahead and make fun of my accent, but I don't stutter, some bitch. You know I'm telling the truth because I don't stutter. Isn't that right? Isn't that right? Eat your words, sucker.
If the president can't put up a tariff wall, it clearly lies within his authority.
So, all right, two more things, Mr. Secretary. You're very kind with your time. Two more things. One, I can't resist. I have to ask you what you think about our new socialist mayor of New York City. What you think?
Larry, I left in 2020. Bill de Blasio chased me out. I couldn't take it anymore. And I want to congratulate the people who voted for Mondami. And welcome to Caracas on the Hudson. Welcome to Caracas on the Hudson. I don't know who's going to be more responsible for the bump in Miami real estate, Maduro or Mondami. And I know you've hedged. You've got an apartment in New York and a house in Connecticut. I'm told that Connecticut realtors are already very busy. And look, I had 35 great years in New York. I wish New York the best, but I think that they've chosen the worst. And people have to learn from experience.
Yeah, I'm afraid so. There's some wacko things, as though we don't know that socialism is going to fail. Last one, another point, though. Let's leave Mondami to his own problems right now. I think the president's speech today in Miami, speaking of New York City and a socialist mayor, his speech in Miami was absolutely terrific. It was about the economy. It was about economic growth. And, Scott, here's my point. He's underwater on these economic polls. And I don't see any reason why he should be underwater, because he's already, in 7 or 8 months, you're looking at 4% economic growth. And his inflation, his prices are, way, way, way below. I mean, just one number, grocery prices up 23%. 23% during the Biden years, okay? That's extraordinary. And right now, even Mr. Trump's, his entire CPI is only up 1.7%. In other words, prices are contributing to real wages already just in the first 7 or 8 months, okay? But there has to be a constant litany and discussion. The president said this himself. He said, you got to go out and tell folks, you got to be specific, you got to have details. Now, even as great a communicator as he is, he can't do it alone. And even as good a communicator you are, and you're handling the trade policy, which is a terrific thing. I'm just saying, other parts of the Trump team have got to get out there and start talking to folks about the numbers, inflation, unemployment, growth, jobs, real wages. How about explaining, the components of the one big beautiful bill? I don't think the public still understands all that's in there. The more you get out, then the less the left-wing media is going to have. They're trying to step in where the Trumpians left an opening, and I wouldn't leave any openings.
Well, Larry, I couldn't agree with you more. And look, the mainstream media tried to hide all the problems during the Biden economy. They called it a vibe session. They said, working Americans don't live.
I hate Bezin. He has great hair.
Listen, you're silly people. You don't understand how good you have it. It's never been so good. But, they know what they were feeling. So a couple of things, Larry. One, I think 2026 is going to be a gangbuster year, and Americans will feel it in their pocketbooks, in their homes, and they will know that the economy is strong, that they are doing well. With the one,
I will tell you this. For some of you that are noticing that the prices are going down, they are. But you will notice that in blue states and cities, they're going to price gouge. They're going to raise the prices. Because if they don't, their life falls apart. You have to understand something. All of these corrupted Democrat politicians that support illegal immigration and criminals to go free, they're all involved. I'm telling you that right now. You need to fight for your city, for your state, for your country. If you live in a city where they're taking advantage of you by raising your taxes like crazy, you need to join government. Sometimes just talking about it and just voting is not enough. You need to vote. You need to serve. Get up there. And don't become like Rand Paul. What a jackass. Man, I wish I can see him in person so I can tell him, you know what? Do the best that you can to fight for your country. That's all I can tell you. Illegal immigrants are going to tell you that you have no feelings. They'll call you a bigot. They'll call you a hater. They'll call you a racist. They'll call you all kinds of names in the book because you stand for your people. They're not our people. Let's be clear. Americans are my people. I made an oath to become an American because I was given the privilege to become an American. When I make that oath, it is to be respectful and to honor this country. Anything. If you want to say that I'm a traitor to my Hispanic people, F you, and who gives a shit what you think? I love everybody. I love everybody. But I like law and order. People like the libtards that believe that illegal immigrants have the same rights as American citizens are just as stupid or dumber than Mondami de Kami. That's what I think. You guys, how can you hate somebody that is defending you? How do you hate somebody that's defending your country? I don't get it. I can see all the illegal immigrants. I get it. I can tell you that businesses, even Berniel down in South California, is paying hella taxes. He would see more income for his family and through his businesses for his employees, etc. But he can't. He lives in a blue state. They will raise the price of everything just to make Trump look bad. I sit here every day saying, telling, believing the truth. I sit here honest with everybody 100%. And when they tell me that I'm a liar, that's how I know that everything they say about President Donald Trump is a lie. Let's make it clear. When they talk bad about Trump, they include every single one of us Americans who are putting America first. They are the cancer in our society. And we got to find out. We got to find the cure. But the best thing that I can advise you is this. Even though I'm a nobody here in this country, I'm an American citizen, and that is enough for me to put my name on the ballot to run for governor, and you guys are so much inspiring me to continue to fight for that. Even if we don't win, the only people that truly lose are those who don't have the will to fight for what they believe, and I will fight, fight, fight.
And Main Street can do great together, and I think 2026 is going to be Main Street's year.
All right, Main Street's here. I hope so. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, appreciate your time very much. Thank you, sir.
Good to see you, Larry.
All right, good to see you.
Iran's supreme leader says cooperation with America is not possible because of Trump's support for Israel. Jennifer Griffin joining us now. Jennifer, what is Trump's response to that?
Well, Stuart, as you mentioned, Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, declared Monday that the cooperation with the U.S. isn't possible because Washington wants complete submission from Iran, backs Israel, which he referred to as the Zionist entity, and maintains military bases in the Middle East.
If they were to completely abandon the support for the Zionist regime, withdrew their military bases from here, and refrain from interfering in the region, then it would be possible to examine the issue. But that is not for now, nor for the near future.
Meanwhile, Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian vowed to rebuild the country's nuclear facilities with greater strength. And the UN's nuclear chief says Iran isn't actively enriching uranium now, but said Tehran could build as many as 10 nuclear bombs if it chose to weaponize its uranium stockpile. When pressed in a CBS interview on whether he's certain Iran lacks nuclear capability, President Trump sidestepped.
I'm sorry, guys. If you come through my chat, let me just throw you a little warning out there. You are in MAGA country. So, sorry, but you're going to drown in this ocean. There's a big red wave in this chat room. You're going to drown. So, tread carefully.
Convinced they have no nuclear capability right now.
Do you want to know? They have no nuclear capability, no.
Israel's Prime Minister Bibi Netanyahu raised eyebrows when he suggested during his speech at the UN General Assembly in September that Israel's highly enriched uranium had survived the strikes and needed to be accounted for, suggesting the job may not be finished.
We must remain absolutely clear-minded and vigilant. We must not allow Iran to rebuild its military nuclear capacities. Iran's stockpiles of enriched uranium, these stockpiles must be eliminated.
Comes as tensions deepen and the U.S. no longer has an aircraft carrier in the region, which critics say could invite adventurism in the Middle East. With the USS Gerald Ford aircraft carrier strike group ordered to the Caribbean by Secretary Hegseth, leaving a large vulnerability in the Middle East. New satellite images analyzed by the Center for Strategic and International Studies show possible renewed activity at Iran's nuclear sites despite the damage.
Mama Melody, it's secretly enjoying the way I speak the truth. That's why she likes to trigger back and forth. I love it. Thank you for the support, Nana.
From the U.S. and Israeli strikes in June. Stuart?
Jennifer, thank you very much.
Time for the hot topic of the hour. It is now day 37 of this government shutdown. President Trump again urging the Senate to end with the ending of the filibuster to get things going. But Senate Majority Leader John Thune says it is not happening. The breaking news this morning is the FAA is now being forced to reduce air traffic levels at 40 key airports beginning tomorrow morning if no deal is reached. Democrats, meanwhile, are riding high after the blue sweep in Tuesday night's elections. But the Trump administration is responding with the fight has just begun. New York City Mayor-elect Zohran Mamdani meeting with Big Apple executives, business executives, as employers and residents are worried about his effect on the economy and obtaining federal money. The president discussing all of this with Brett Baer on Special Report last night. Watch.
I thought that New Jersey would do better.
I didn't think that Virginia was going to do very well. I didn't think the candidate, well, didn't really have my support. The Cuomo situation, it's just he had too many things against him. I'm so torn because I would like to see the new mayor do well because I love New York. For 1,000 years, communism has not worked. Communism or the concept of communism has not worked.
Touche.
I tend to doubt it's going to work this time.
At one point he says, turn the volume up.
So hear me, President Trump, when I say this.
Turn it up.
To get to any of us, you will have to get through all of us.
How do you respond to that?
Hold on, SA. Mr. President, please allow me to ask a question here. Well, man, how do I break it to you guys? Man, I'll tell you what. I got this little clip here. Let me see here. Give sec.
New York will remain.
SA, nobody told you to talk yet. All right. I got just one question. Maybe more, but more of a comment. So, listen to my theory. Kamdani, Morondani, what's his name? The guy with the thing. The guy that does the thing with the fake tears and the fake cry with the fake auntie. That guy. Listen to how he tells everybody the truth about himself and his legal status in this country. Number one, he lied, allegedly, lied on the application to become a citizen. That knows it. That gets them deported. And he is not valid to be a mayor. You don't believe me? Look how he talks. Now, well, yeah, you can look and listen. And by the way, let me make sure the boss shows in this picture. That's right. We'll get the boss in there a little bit more. The boss has to show. The boss is right under him, right there. Listen and think. He knows he is not a citizen, not an American citizen. But you know what? Don't believe me. Go ahead and listen to him.
New York will remain a city of immigrants, a city built by immigrants, powered by immigrants, and as of tonight, led by an immigrant.
Not an American citizen. And by the way, illegal immigrants or migrants are not paying the bills in New York. It's the rich people. The millionaires and the billionaires are the ones that keep powering that city up. Now, let's play it again. And then we'll go back to Mr. President Trump. I love having ADHD sometimes, but sometimes I don't. But today is that one night. All right, Crapdami, go for it.
New York will remain a city of immigrants, a city built by immigrants, powered by immigrants.
And now?
And as of tonight, led by an immigrant.
F you, Americans. Okay, Mr. President, I apologize about that. Go ahead, sir.
Very dangerous statement for him to make, actually. He has to be a little bit respectful of Washington, because if he's not, he doesn't have a chance of succeeding. And I want to make him succeed. I want to make the city succeed.
Did you see reaching out to him?
No.
I would say he should reach out to us.
Is there a deal that can be made to end this government shutdown, in your mind?
Well, I think the Democrats have become radicalized. I think, this never happened before. They always extend. An extension is very easy. It's done all the time. You extend, sometimes you extend 4 or 5 times. I mean, they become radicalized lunatics, actually, in a true sense. they should automatically extend, and we will make a deal as soon as they do. As soon as they do, we'll make a deal.
Well,
oh snap! Hold on. Super chat here from our boss Berniel. At Melody Serena, drop a super chat or wait your SNAP benefits. Your SNAP benefits are on hold. It is what it is, my friend. And Lekili Maka is the thing to say. Melikiliki Maka. Lekili Maile. What kind of name is that? It's Hawaiian? Aloha, Lekili Maile. That's right. He said immigrants, not Americans. There is your sign. Even Hawaiians know the truth. Except for Melody. Melody's also Hawaiian, but she's one of those fake Hawaiians. She has no brains, apparently. Sorry, Nana. I know, Grandma. You're getting close to Biden's. I'm sorry. I apologize about that. I need to bring it down a couple of notches. I apologize. All right. Debbie says in 5 minutes, he was begging for money. Oh, see, another one right there. We're not going to read Knives' comment. Thank you, man. I appreciate you as always. Amy Wagner says, Fafo. That's right. Now, I just have a question. Who told Kamani, Kamdami, Mandomi, the guy, you know the guy with the fake smile, the guy that the girls think is cute, that's why they voted for him, that guy. All right. Man, I try to stay serious about it. Okay, who told him that he was a president? How does this little mayor guy, just right there in the city, a little guy, think that he is more powerful than our commander-in-chief? How does this little cadet tells the colonel, I always have a hard time saying that word, the colonel. Man, how does he tell the commander-in-chief what to do and threaten him? And by the way, the threat that he made to Bibi Netanyahu, we don't go by international law. Who gives a shit? Very clear that he hates Jews, specifically Netanyahu, because he always blames them for genocide in Palestine and Gaza, but doesn't blame the Gaza, the Hamas, or the Palestinians that are out there causing havoc everywhere else. I got a problem with that. Let's see what this guy say.
We are now watching the impact on the economy, and I want to get your take on this, Mark, because once you've got air traffic cutting a capacity and flight stopping, this really gets to what I've been worried about these last couple of days, and that is a serious impact on the economy. What do you think?
Without a doubt, but it's also going to affect just family relationships. I mean, we're like 2 weeks away from Thanksgiving travel starting to pick up, and the government is still shut down. We lack air traffic controllers. And Maria, last Thursday, after I wrapped up this show, it took me 14 hours to get home.
Wow.
Back to Cleveland.
14 hours.
Went to the airport, sat on the plane for 4 hours. They deplaned us. I walked down to Hertz, rented a car, drove home. My back is still in pain today from making that drive last week. And you can't be an effective business owner or sales representative or whatever it may be if you can't get to where you need to be.
These are the kinds of stories that will trigger others to cancel their plans, cancel travel, and again, impact the GDP, broadly speaking. But Chris, I mean, have you ever seen anything like this? And we've never seen a shutdown this long.
Yeah, just historically, we've never seen one this long. And with the flights, it's finally going to maybe impact some people who have been looking at the shutdown and thinking, well, the government doesn't really affect my life. This isn't that big of a deal. The sob stories from Democrats are largely focused on early retirees not getting a subsidy for their health care, for folks like me, it's like, why should I care? Keep the government shut down. Now you might start thinking a little bit differently if you're thinking about, like me traveling with my 2-year-old back to Ohio to visit grandma and grandpa, and you're thinking about how much chaos that might create. It might make some people a little bit more concerned about the shutdown than they probably were before.
You're right. Look, we got to talk about the SCOTUS hearing yesterday. The president's legal team defending his use of emergency tariff powers yesterday in an historic Supreme Court hearing. The president did not attend, but Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent and U.S. Trade Representative Jamieson Greer were in the room. Greer will join us shortly. Bessent posted this to X. President Trump has issued the IEPA authority to address the fentanyl crisis, bring U.S. back from the edge of trade policy, secure rare earths from China, and curtailed purchases of Russian oil, all urgent national security issues. Greer said this, quote, "For decades, America's global competitiveness was eroding under the weight of one-sided trading relationships. The president acted with urgency to address this national economic emergency." All the details are coming up this morning when I speak with U.S. Trade Rep Jamieson Greer here at 8 a.m., so do join us. Here's what the president told Brett last night.
It would be devastating for our country if we lost that. Devastating. I think it's one of the most important, maybe the most, but one of the most important cases in the history of our country. I think taking tariffs away so that we can have national security. So, as an example, President Xi, he hit us with the rare earths, and I hit him with a tariff, 100% tariff on top of all the other tariffs that you're paying. And they called in 10 minutes and we made a deal.
You're saying you're happy with what you came out of it?
If I didn't have tariffs, we would right now, the entire world would be in a depression. Because, you know, that wasn't a threat against us. That was a threat against the entire world. I did this for the world.
You know, I mean, Mark, one of the issues
He
here, I think, for markets is the fact that already this administration has collected almost $200 billion in tariff revenue. The U.S. is going to have to pay that money back if this really goes against them.
Yes, and
Now, why are you tards trying to pay back the tariffs that belong to us? This is how retarded you people have become. Why? Why do you hate this country so much? I don't understand. Why do you hate yourself so much? We made 150% more revenue this year than we did last year. And the last year revenue that we made was because of Trump's first administration's tariffs. You do understand what they just said. China said that they were not going to give us any trade any rare earth minerals with us, which means we cannot do what we need to do with technology, battery, lithium batteries, etc. And they also had us pinned with no buying soybeans. The farmers were being punished by China. Why didn't you guys complain about China then? Why you complain about President Trump trying to make a deal? President Xi was not excited about it. The left went ahead and made fun of President Trump because look at President Xi. Oh, yeah, that's not a great relationship. But President Trump, like myself, like all of you American patriots, is trying to fight for America first, American citizens first, and illegal immigrants got to go. So President Donald Trump is trying to make sure China stops taking advantage of us. Are you going to be able to find your Christmas toys? Yeah, but let them work. If you allow Democrats to criminalize, weaponize the weapon that the judicial system, the FBI, well, they can't do that shit no more because it's ours, but they're weaponizing the judicial system as best as they can against President Trump. And listen to the logic of this. We want President Trump to give back $170 billion. She said almost 200. It's $170 billion back in tariffs to China. Who is the idiot, Matt? Who's the idiot? The one that wants to give $170 billion while we're finally making revenue, and also has now forced China to make a deal with us for the next 3 years to allow our farmers to sell them soybeans. Who is the dummy? Maybe Mandami, but not us. We're not stupid.
Obviously that helps to close the deficit somewhat, and that's really helped to propel stocks
Have
higher.
a good night, Derek.
But,
It's funny. First, everybody was upset about tariffs.
Yeah.
There was all that craziness and, hysteria. And now they realize they need that money for the deficit and debt.
And then you realize that the inflation that was supposed to happen in response to tariffs really never happened. I mean, there was a slight one-time price adjustment upward, but that's it. Now, what I'll tell you is that my take on this whole Supreme Court deal is that they're not trying to figure out if Trump can impose tariffs, but how he can impose tariffs. And I said this on this show months and months and months ago. I believe that President Trump and his administration came into Liberation Day with a backup plan already in place. Section 122 will immediately allow them to impose 15% tariffs on.
Everybody forgot about that chart, huh? Everybody forgot how much they were taking advantage of us. Everybody forgot about that.
Every single country for 150 days, and then Congress can vote to continue it. Beyond that, Section 338 will allow him to impose up to 50% tariff.
Thank you, my patriots. Reciprocal tariffs. That means that we didn't invent tariffs and become evil. No, we're being hit by them every single day. Our businesses are suffering with those tariffs. Our economy is going down the toilet because of those tariffs. Somebody had to do something about it to save our country. Not only did he save our country, but he brought honor and respect to the United States of America, and that is you, my American citizens, and soon-to-be citizens, alien green card holders.
Tariffs on countries that discriminate against us. Right. Currency manipulation, all those kind of things. So 12 months from today, we're going to be exactly where we are right now.
And on top of that, he's also got Section 301 that he can use for unfair trade practices. Yep. So one of the things that other countries use is having incredibly low environmental standards that they use as an inherent subsidy because we're cleaner, we do it better, we can impose those kinds of tariffs. So he's got plenty of tools at his disposal.
There's also Section 112. Did you mention 112?
Nope, nope.
So there's 112, which is a balance of payments authority 1974 law that allows the president to impose an additional 15% tariff on imports for 150 days. So, yes, he has backup plans, and I don't think tariffs are going anywhere, but it still will be a negative when it first comes out, if in fact that's where this is going. We'll see. We don't know how the justices are going to roll.
Joining me now is Newt Gingrich, dear friend, mentor, former House Speaker, Fox News contributor. Newt, welcome back. I want to talk about other stuff, Newt, but what did you think of my scenario for the city? You could stop Mamdani with those two strong, great women.
This is MAGA country, baby. MAGA country.
Take a whack at it, please.
Well, look, I think he is Elise Stefanik's best asset in running for governor. He's going to be, when you get outside of New York City, he's amazingly unpopular in upstate New York or on Long Island. And I think that as we watch him and as we see how truly radical he is, I think that he will further alienate people. But he'll do a fair amount of damage to the city. But you're exactly right. What really matters is who is the next governor. And I think that he's creating a situation where Elise Stefanik probably has the best chance of any Republican in the last 30 years to win the governorship.
Indeed, I think she's a winner. All right, thanks for that. Now, Newt, next up, why the Republicans get shellacked on Tuesday? All right, forget Mamdani for a second. They got shellacked in New Jersey. They got shellacked in Virginia. They got shellacked in Georgia, your home state. What is it? The Public Service Utility Commission elected 2 Democrats for the first time in a million years. Newsom won out there in California for his crazy redistricting. No matter how you slice it, it was a bad night for the GOP. Why? What was the big factor?
Look, I think there are 2 big realities that Republicans have to solve.
I just saw it.
The first is that the Democrats did a brilliant job of sticking to a message, and a message which grew out of the American people, which I want to come back to. And then second is Republicans have to find a way to motivate the Trump base voter to come out and vote if Trump's not on the ballot. I mean, it doesn't. I think President Trump was right in saying that the fact that he wasn't on the ballot was a major factor, but that doesn't solve anything. He's not going to be on the ballot in 26, and they had better find a way to get people to decide to vote. But I want to go back to this affordability issue, because I think probably I disagree with you a little bit, Larry. I think you have a reality problem here, not a messaging problem. I think when you have a 20% increase in the price of electricity in New Jersey, when the average family health insurance plan is now $27,000 a year, basically the equivalent of buying a small car every year. I think when housing costs, a lot of them caused by big government socialism, but when housing costs rise to a point where young people can't buy a house, you have a real sense from the American people. And I've always opposed efforts to tell the American people that they're stupid about what they feel. The job of the politician is to listen and learn and then try to help people, and then they get to lead. And the American people have been saying very clearly for about 5 years now that they're unhappy with the economy, that they can't afford things, and that they're very worried about what's going to happen. Republicans have to come up with a series of strategies. For example, Secretary of Treasury has said that he thinks he has a housing strategy. Well, they better roll it out. We have an opportunity, I think, with transparency and health costs to dramatically lower the cost of health care. We'd better roll it out. I think every time you turn around, you have to find real solutions. And then I think you can build a message. But the message has to be based on reality. And the reality was Republicans weren't focused on the economy. They didn't have solutions, and they allowed the Democrats to dominate. As James Carville said in 1992, it's the economy, stupid. Well, guess what? In 2026, it's going to be the economy, stupid.
Yeah, for sure.
And Republicans ought to focus
Well,
on having the great answers and then winning the argument over those answers.
Well, I certainly.
Well, there you go. Economy stupid. That's what he said, and we agree with him. That was our last news right there, and I got one more that we are going to share. Not that, that's this one. And let's see. We'll read some comments over here. Give you guys some love. Let's see. I'm going to show you some love. Let's see. Craig says, "Thank you. We can't afford to live." Well, we are live, so hopefully that gives you some type of hope. And they will get shellacked this December congressional seat, which is a game changer, says Al. Democrats are very, very enthusiastic about this. Yeah, good luck, guys. Good luck. Oh, my God. Luis Montalvo still doesn't know why the $40 billion was for. This guy doesn't know why we have to do those things to put America first. Let's see. Jason, stop spamming. I think they took care of him already because I don't see anything. Let's see. Comments, guys. Knew the guy that asked his wife for a divorce while she was in the hospital fighting cancer. What about it, my friend? I mean, everybody has the right to choose what they want to do with their life. You know, I wouldn't blame somebody for doing that. You don't know where the mind goes, and you don't know if that person was the best person for him when everything was this and that, or for her. And there's a lot of things that we don't know about their life. Like, I don't know, I will have to think about it myself if there was something going on in there, but don't know where that comment comes from. Let's see. Rush. Okay, these guys are still biting the fake lies. I don't blame them, man. I see a bunch of stuff on my X account just coming through. This one right here, guys, this is a speech, I guess, Governor Ron DeSantis speaks at Victims of Communism Day event at Freedom Tower in Miami, Florida. I haven't watched this, so we're going to watch this together and see what this is all about.
Oh, thanks so much. Great to be at the Freedom Tower. Great to be back in Miami. I want to thank everybody. Thank Madeline for her great work. I really believe that when you look around the country at the state and community college level, I don't think there's any institution that is more influential or has the potential to continue to be more than here in Miami-Dade College. I want to thank, I know we got a lot of our board members. Some of you guys have been great. I mean, I see Marcel, just amazing. always a true warrior fighting the good fights with us. And we made promises through the years about what we would do for both Miami-Dade and the Freedom Tower. And I'm happy to say, like all the promises we made, promises made, promises kept. We've delivered on the support for this great. And I'm coming in, there's horrible traffic getting here. I'm coming in and, you're looking, the skyline or whatever, but you see like a condo building or this, and then you see the Freedom Tower, and the architecture was so much better. It's like we've got to preserve. We should be doing all the buildings like this. So we're really excited to be able to play a part in preserving, this unique institution. And then we've got our education commissioner who's from Miami, Stasi Kamoutsis, who's doing a great job, really dropping the hammer on anybody that thinks they have their own agenda that they can do, or anybody that thinks they're going to violate the rights of parents or try to smuggle in ideology. And so I think it's been great what he's been able to do. I think we're probably the only state in the country that has a day to commemorate the victims of communism. And as was mentioned by Madeline, there is instruction in the schools that will talk about this. And I think it's important to talk about, in a very clear-eyed way, the destruction, the lives, 100 million dead at the hands of Marxism-Leninism. But I think it's also important that we just recognize the whole absurdity of it all, of the whole idea of communism and Marxism-Leninism. And nobody understood that better than President Reagan.
True.
And he used to tell a story about Castro's Cuba. And so for those of you who are exiles or have heard the stories, this guy would get up there and he would drone on for 4 hours, and basically all the problems they had was all America's fault, and all the others said this is the nonstop propaganda. And these people are basically just forced to sit there and listen and have to endure this, because if they did anything, then they basically be disappeared. It was an authoritarian country. And so Castro's given this speech, and he's droning on and on and on. All of a sudden, and there's thousands and thousands of people there, you hear out in the distance someone yelling, "Peanuts, popcorn, Cracker Jacks," and people are like, what the hell's going on? And Castro kind of notices it, and then next, "Peanuts, popcorn, cracker," and then you start to hear this, and he's really flustered. And so finally he's like, "All right, I don't know who's saying that, but if you say that one more time, I am going to take your butt and ship you all the way to Miami." And then 2 seconds later, the entire crowd erupted. Peanuts, popcorn, Cracker Jacks.
Let's go, DeSantis.
And you can tell what a system does or doesn't do, because the traffic between Cuba and Florida through the Florida Straits was 100% one way. If communism was so good and America was so bad, wouldn't people want to get on a raft and go over to that island? It's a beautiful island. I have a little bit of experience as a naval officer. I was at Guantanamo Bay for a period of time. And so you see beautiful topography, beautiful coastline. And honestly, had they had a free government these last decades, it would be the most prosperous, country in Latin America, I think, without question. So, so it ain't like this is like in the middle of the desert somewhere where there's just nothing there. This is a great a great island. And so they have this system. And if it's so great, wouldn't one boat have wanted to go to? No, that wasn't. And so sometimes we can talk about theory, we can talk about facts and figures. All you got to do, how did people behave? And there were people that risked their lives to be able to escape Castro's communist Cuban tyranny.
Yep.
And come to the United States of America. There was no one who was trying to leave the United States to go there. And it's important that we understand, particularly young people, understand, because I don't think the Cold War was won, all this, but this ideology doesn't fully go away. and it comes back and it's repackaged, and they try to do it under various different banners. And so you have to understand what's at stake here. And I think with America's 250th anniversary approaching next summer, it's a great opportunity for young people to both appreciate the American founding principles and then to see how communism, how Marxism, Leninism is totally at war with the ideals that our founding fathers instituted. And the results, obviously, when you have 100 million dead, that's a pretty poor track record for Marxism, Leninism. But our founding fathers understood a couple things. I mean, one, they believed, and our society is based on the idea, that our rights do not come from the government, that we are endowed by our Creator with certain unalienable rights. And so God has endowed individuals with these natural rights. Then the people form a constitution and they loan power to the government to primarily protect the rights that we already possess and to be able to order society in ways that are beneficial. But it's not about government giving you freedom. You have freedom. Government's role is to protect your freedom. And that was really a lot different than what people had thought previously. What does communism think? Well, communism, they don't acknowledge any higher being. The highest being in communism is the Communist Party and the dictatorship that comes from that. And so that's what Castro put himself up as. That's what they did in the Soviet Union. You know, you look at China. You know, what's the most important entity there? What does everything revolve around? It revolves around serving the CCP and the Communist Party. So they don't recognize a superior being or a higher power. So therefore, if they don't recognize a higher power, then as an individual, what is your worth? Well, they can't say we're endowed by our creators. They don't believe that. And so basically, as an individual, you are simply a ward of the state. The CCP in China, the Castro dictatorship, the old Soviet Union, they determine, you know what, there was freedom in the Soviet Union. Honestly, there's some freedom in Cuba, only for the people connected. You know, the people that are connected to the Communist Party, they live like kings, while everybody else lives like peasants. And so, if you know the right person, if you toe the party line, maybe you will be given freedom. But it's all based on the whim of the state. It's all based on what the Communist Party says. And that is totally contrary to what America was founded upon. We had a founding fathers. They didn't do it for themselves. You know, when Castro led the revolution against Cuba, had all these people that, you know, they considered themselves kind of more outcasts of society. It was kind of like the proletariat and all the rhetoric or whatever. And obviously that didn't work out very well, but our founding fathers were very accomplished. They were the movers and shakers in the colonies. When they met in Philadelphia and signed the Declaration of Independence, that is not like just emoting on social media like people would be today, or just popping up. This was, they pledged their lives, their fortunes, and their sacred honor. And that wasn't hollow rhetoric. If they did not succeed in achieving revolution, the penalty 100% would be death for every single one of them. And so they basically signed their own death warrant, and then they had to win an improbable victory. So they had a lot to lose, and honestly, much less to gain personally, but it was the principle about whether people can govern themselves or not. And you've seen how America, and look, we have ups and downs in this country. You know, we've got problems that we deal with even today, major problems. But no country has given more people more opportunity in all of human history than the United States of America. And that wouldn't have happened unless those folks stood up and fought. And so as part of America 250, we're really leaning into this. You know, we have some of our counties, most of them are far away from Miami-Dade, although one of them is just south of you guys, Monroe. But we've got counties named after founding fathers. And so we've brought a statue of Thomas Jefferson to Jefferson County. We brought a statue of Ben Franklin to Franklin County. I got George Washington. I got a statue, beautiful statue loaned from Mount Vernon that we put in the Florida Capitol. So if you go into the Florida Capitol, you want to go to the governor's office, you hang that left, you see G-Dub right there, looking really good. We're going to bring, and it's interesting because there's all these other states that have different a lot of states not only would not do victims of communism day of force, they may view it a little bit differently. So it's like they've been taking statues down of America's founding fathers over the last decade. This has been something that's kind of become a cottage industry. So it's allowed us, I'm getting like Alexander Hamilton on discount from some of these states because it's in the basement. We get it, I mean, it should be a $100,000 statue. I'm getting it for $30,000. So we have good opportunities to do this. So we're gonna do Hamilton in Hamilton County, Madison, Father of the Constitution in Madison County, and we are gonna do James Monroe down in Monroe County. I gotta figure out which key we're gonna drop old James in, and so we're working on that. But we really believe that it's important for folks to understand it's a very important part of human history. And if you look at what they did, people will point out the flaws, this, that. Yeah, I think that's fine. But understand, if they hadn't have done that, you would not have seen different folks succeed across racial, ethnic. They set the principles in motion that has allowed a lot of people to realize dreams over many, many decades and even the centuries. So it's really important that we do that. We're going to continue to do more on that. Now, in Florida, we don't just talk, we act, because I think while words can be meaningful, it's ultimately your deeds that are the most powerful. And so we weren't just going to sit here, do an event at the Freedom Tower, say how bad communism is and think that we've done our duty. No, we knew that this needed to be something that was enduring and permanent part of our education system. So we were able to sign bills into law doing a number of different things. One, of course, we have officially established November 7th as the Victims of Communism Day in the state of Florida, which is the first in the nation to do that. But we're also leading the effort to educate our students on the evils of communism. We have obviously, we have people in this room who are have firsthand experience with communism. There's people in this room who have grandparents who suffered under communism. And it's not just Cuban Americans, by the way, because, Florida is really we've attracted people from Eastern Europe during the Cold War. People that have done that. You see people in South Florida with that as well. So this was, abroad. I'm working with Taiwan on different stuff. And so they know firsthand. And so we've got Taiwanese Americans. We've got a lot of, but our victims of communist topics for the students will go over Lenin and the Russian Revolution, Joseph Stalin and what he did during the Soviet. Stalin, if you looked at him the wrong way, you were gone. They would just kill you, like almost on the spot. He was responsible for millions of people dying under his regime. Mao Zedong and the Great Leap Forward and the Cultural Revolution. Nobody has a higher body count in the history of communism than Mao Zedong, because he was doing things like the Great Leap Forward, which was trying to centrally plan the economy, and you'd have massive famines. And so people are dropping like flies because they couldn't get any food. And so it was just a total train wreck of policies. And then the Cultural Revolution was really just trying to indoctrinate into the party line and really created a dystopia there. They have to learn about Fidel Castro and the Cuban Revolution and the communist takeover of Cuba. Look about what he was promising when he took power, and then look what ended up happening. One of the most failed episodes in governance in all of human history is the Castro regime in Cuba. And our students need to know that, and they need to appreciate that. Pol Pot and Khmer Rouge, the modern fall of the Soviet Union, as well as Hugo Chavez and Nicolas Maduro and what they're doing in Venezuela, or what Chavez did and what Maduro continues to do. And let's just be clear, none of that probably would have been able to happen without the communist regime in Cuba helping to support that and prop that up as well. So our students are going to go into this very wide-eyed. We think it's important. We're also going to be adding, and I know Stasi will talk about this in upcoming academic years, students to be given instruction on the history of communism within the United States. the domestic communist movements, including tactics that were used. We just had a guy elected in New York City, elected the mayor. I came up to the podium and I quoted Ronald Reagan. He came up to the podium and quoted a guy named Eugene V. Debs, who was a communist. And so you see that. So we will provide instruction on that. One of the things I'm happy about is Senate Bill 1254, which authorizes the newly established Institute for Freedom in the Americas at Miami-Dade College to partner with our Adam Smith Center for Economic Freedom at Florida International University with the goal of promoting the importance of economic and individual freedoms as a means to advance human progress, and they will have a specific focus on how these policies can have a beneficial impact throughout the Western Hemisphere. And I will tell you, we've not had a great run in the Western Hemisphere recently. You look at the leader of Colombia, Brazil, obviously Cuba, Venezuela, always a problem. We've got a couple bright lights in the West. For a while we had a Prime Minister of Canada who I think was a Marxist too, Trudeau. And his mom was very close with Fidel Castro in maybe more ways than one. So, so you have this, and it's like, I'm sitting there during COVID and people are fleeing down from Canada because he's locking down everybody and they're seizing bank accounts from the truckers and they're doing all this stuff. And I'm thinking who would have thought that in North America we would be dealing, with some of this stuff. So it hasn't been a great run. So I think that what Miami-Dade College and what Adam Smith Center will be great for the students first and foremost and great for South Florida. But I also think it's going to have resonance because people need some inspiration. People need some hope in some of these parts of our hemisphere that things can be better, and they can be better. So I want to thank everybody that's been involved with all of this over the years. I can't think of a place that in this country that has a more instinctive understanding of the dangers of communism than we have in our South Florida communities. So thanks to everybody that's been involved. Thank you to the folks in my administration and in the legislature who've worked really hard to do this. I don't know if we have any legislators here today. I know I saw some people, saw some school. Okay, yeah, great. And then, Gonzalez is here, Commissioner. This guy's really good, Rob Gonzalez and the Commission. So there's been a lot of hard work that's gone into this. And honestly, I even think, I think a lot of this ended up being bipartisan, to be honest with you. So we did have folks in both parties that have supported a lot of this over the years. And I'm just proud to be able to be here and say that today is meaningful. We were a little lighthearted about the Reagan quip, but the reality is this ideology has destroyed communities, families. It's taken lives by the tens of millions, certainly at least 100 million in the 20th century alone. And we can't forget that. And we just got to know, let our students understand what the harmful effects would be, because people can say these things, they can always promise these things, and then it always ends up being the same old song and dance, and it leads to human misery. Okay, our education commissioner is going to come wrap it up.
Great job. I like DeSantis. DeSantis was the person that I wanted to become president. He just was not tough enough to stick around, but I think he's a great governor. Not everybody is meant to be president. Not everybody is meant to carry down the torch, but I really like DeSantis, and from what Shirley here is saying, he's doing a good job in Florida. Now, I don't know what Florida is going to do about all these people migrating from New York. I hope that there is other places besides Florida that people can migrate to. You guys watched that video about it's been going on for a couple of years. All these Muslims are trying to build a big city for Muslims. Now, it's not just for Muslims, but there's going to be a lot of people to be able to come into the city. But they forget this. This is the United States of America. You want to build a Muslim city, go do that shit in a Muslim country. You don't do that over here. This is the problem with some of the rights. There's some laws and regulations that need to change, but not for the American people, for the foreigners. I think I might have to do some sort of change to that. Only residents and citizens can own property in the United States of America. That should be a rule. Other countries do that. Oh, for Pete's sakes, the Philippines does that. Little miserable islands over there. They do that. And there's other countries that don't allow foreigners to come and own land. I think the biggest mistake is allowing all these Chinese to take all these hundreds of thousands of acres of farmland. You guys, some people complain about the farmers not getting help, but nobody says anything about China taking all this land, especially on strategic locations. Let's not play our fools. It's hard to monitor a specific random things that happen in this land because it could be just related to farming, or it could be that somebody's building something in our own land to attack us in the future. Not just a theory, but nonetheless, we should be keeping an eye on them. Let's not forget, there's actually a lot of states where they allow Muslims to practice military action here in the United States of America. Did you guys know that? Did you guys know that Muslims are actually, they have encampments where they practice to be soldiers? Not for America, not for the United States of America, but they do it for themselves, for their Muslimhood. America, let me be clear. We are a country of freedom of religion, but you got to be careful of what religion dominates this country. Dearborn, Michigan. You're right, bro. Dearborn, Michigan is full of Muslims. They got so many Muslims in there that the police department has Arabic writing while they're serving. This is something that is for American citizens are supposed to be the only ones that can police and become police officers. But there's many that are not American citizens, and that's a problem. But I'm going to tell you what else is a problem. Any religion that says death to America. But for one, I don't know what American in their right mind would support that. But there is. What's crazy is that I see white people asking for Sharia law like it's a good thing. They don't know what the hell they're asking for. I see a lot of black people becoming Muslims. Christians, they get killed everywhere they go. They're killing Christians in Africa. You guys already heard the president. If they don't stop that shit, we're going to go over there and annihilate them. There's going to be a lot of depopulating. A lot of depopulating. And why? Why do they kill Christians? Guys, this is a country, a Christian country, and Americans and all these people that live in America that love people, they go to these countries to help. They don't go there to convince everybody to become Christians. They go there to help, and they get killed for wanting to help. Imagine having a massive illegal invasion into our country, and they don't give a damn about American citizens. we have a crisis in this nation. You know why I don't take people too serious in my chat when they come and say hateful things? Because I know they're illegal. I believe that there's a few thousands of leftist retards out there that, let's be honest, mental health problems is getting bigger in our country and throughout the world. But there is millions of illegal immigrants that will 100% go out and protest, and they show it on the media, on the news, and they say, oh my God, millions of Americans are out there protesting. No, it's the illegal immigrants and the few thousands of idiots that we have in this country that are so lied to. They are happy getting their free food, free medical, and damn the country. Mandami comes in there and say, we're going to give free buses, free bus rides. Good luck with that. Look at the crime in New York already in the subways. As horrible as it is. And this guy wanted to defund the police. This is the same guy that also said he's going to release a lot of criminals. He doesn't believe in prisons. He doesn't give thanks to the American people for the support. Everything that he said was about migrants. Migrants come to this country not to build the United States of America for the well-being and the respect and the honor of the American citizens. They come over here and they get paid a wage so that they can get their skills to work. But they don't come over here to build America. If you came here to build America, you will stop illegal immigration. See, I got a moral code that does not allow me to just say, because this is my people, I want them all to come here illegally. No, this is the United States of America. It belongs to American citizens, period. They have a United States of America Constitution. It belongs to the American people. Very simple. So I am not going to turn my back on the country that gave me the privilege to become an American citizen, to throw it away because I got family and Hispanics that are coming here illegally. No, you bring shame. If we have so many Americans and so many migrants that supposedly are legal, if they care so much about helping these people in need, help them in their country. Go to Venezuela. Take all of your righteous, empathetic, sympathetic, and all these righteous people that you have together. Go to Venezuela and tell Nicolas Maduro, get the hell out the way. We're going to come here and we're going to help the poor and we're going to bring them good water and we're going to give them food. Ask the last group that tried that. Oh, that's right. They don't exist. I wonder what happened to them. Venezuelans are hiding because of the corrupted, tyrannical dictator they have over there. And every time that we in the United States of America, that President Trump tries to put a stop to the illegal drug trafficking into our country, instead of defending, instead of supporting, they are criminalizing him. You know why? It's hurting their business. Do you know why Kamdani is supported by the blacks over there? While he was rapping, what was the one thing that he promised them? We are gonna let prostitution be a legal work matter. Of course, allow the pimps to use and degrade women. Why not? Allow the criminals to come out of prison. Why not? You know what? I support him 100%. Because when these criminals get let out of jail, when the people don't have enough money to go, well, they don't have EBT because they're going to run out of money. When they don't have EBT, I can't wait for them to go riot and destroy the government-owned grocery stores. Oh, it's going to be an amazing day. I'm going to grab my popcorn ready. I'm going to grab my coffee, a little bit of some Diet Coke, maybe go get some fries, go all out. Make me some Spanish coffee. You know what I'm saying? For some of you alcoholic mofos out there, you know what I'm talking about. I support him 100%. Why? Because I love you, America. And I hope that you as well love Americans. You have to understand something. I come from a third world country where the people is the same as what I see here. The difference is we're more united over there. The problem is the governor, the president. The government is horrible. But here in America, you got wealth, you got prosperity, you got a president that is given the last couple of decades of his life, sacrificing his health, literally his life, fighting to make deals so that when he dies, he can be remembered as the greatest president in history. That's it. That's his ambition, to be remembered as the greatest president in history. And we don't allow him to do that. They complain. Look at him. Look. Americans are starving, they say. Americans are starving, and he's out there golfing. That's what they complain about, golfing. Let the man have some fun, will ya? I would love for every single one of you Americans to be prosperous beyond measure. And I will never be envious and jealous of your success. If you sacrifice, if you work your butt off, you deserve to make that money. This is a capitalist country. The Democrats created welfare. Why? Because they're racist. They didn't create welfare with the great intentions to help Americans. Let me tell you why. In order for you to qualify for welfare, you have to degrade yourself. You have to believe that you're not enough. You have to believe that you have to depend on the government. How do I know that? Well, let's find out. We pulled out a chart earlier. If you want to qualify, thanks for the sub. If you want to qualify for welfare, you cannot make full-time money. We went around about it. We went every household, depending on your city, state, depending on the economy. Every economy for every state is different. But we as Americans, we have one choice. And we say this. All right, now I can go to work full-time, but I won't be able to afford health care. And I probably won't get the food that I want to eat because I won't be able to afford all of it. Or I can stay home, apply for welfare, get food stamps, get free medical, and the government loves me. That's how I know. They preach it to the black communities. They think that black people are stupid. They're not. They're not. But they give welfare so that they don't become educated. See, there's a difference. Now, you can be ignorant, but not stupid. A stupid person knows that this is how you do this, and you chose to do something else. Ignorant, they just don't know that they are worth more than what the government tells them. They just don't know that they don't have to be ghetto to be black. They don't know that they don't have to be angry all the time, living in poverty, having to put up with gangbangers and stealing and all this bad stuff. They don't know. Why? Because they're single mothers, get rid of their fathers of their babies. They pop out children like they're picking up the cherries out on the field. They will tell you themselves they don't need a man. Why would they need a man? You see, I want to go way back into very basics of marriage. Used to be, I'm a strong man. I have this profession. I see that woman. She has these skills. Together, we can make each other great. But now is, the woman gets pregnant. The government says, hey, here's some free WIC. Here's some food stamps. Free health care. And because you're a single mother, we'll find you a place to live. Work? No, don't worry about it. We got you. Forget about that guy. As a matter of fact, the more children you make, the more welfare you get. And isn't it interesting that you can have socialism that spreads the wealth across as the needed has arrived? You can have families with one child that work their butt off, never get welfare, but those single families, single parent families, they go and they get thousands of dollars in food stamps. They don't work. Their job, their investment is not go to play the stock. Their investment is not to save money, get a loan to get a business. Their investment is to just have more babies. And if we just work for a little bit, it's not hard, just a little bit, 20 hours a week, easy peasy, 20 hours a week, you get that. You get the welfare. It's in the big, beautiful bill, the one big, beautiful bill. Go to the SNAP website. Find out what's changing. In some areas, they're actually getting better benefits. The key is we do not need anybody abusing the system. It's not about a race thing. It's not about blacks. I mentioned it because they take advantage of them. But let me be clear. It doesn't matter the pigmentation of your skin. If you're an American citizen, you're an American, period. Nobody's fighting to be equal. You are equal. Nobody's going to stop you from education except yourself. Nobody's going to make you a great American but yourself. So we have to stand strong and stand against illegal immigration. Why do they play on your emotions? Because they know that we're a nation that cares and loves and wants to give. But everything has an order. You see, Americans, you need to fight here. This is your land. As civilians, we got to make sure that we work, that we pay taxes, etc. Now, some people say, well, we just need to make them legal. We need to make them residents, citizens, whatever. That way, they can work. That way, they can pay taxes and help the United States of America. But the moronic idea of that is you cannot sustain an economy with a massive illegal migration. And if you give them papers, what are you really inviting into your country except for another massive illegal migration? And what's going to happen? Pay attention. New York is going to fall economically. And watch what happens in Florida. There's going to be a flood wave that's going to come to them, and that's going to raise prices on buildings, on real estate. Jobs are going to have to pay more. Taxes are probably going to go up. It doesn't matter how great DeSantis or whoever the Republican governor is going to be there in the future. That's going to create some sort of unbalance to what they had before. Let me be clear. Miami is hell expensive to live in already. Very expensive. Texas is being invaded by Muslims trying to create their own city. This is not for America's benefit. You hear them on their mosque. They hate Americans. We are infidels to them. It doesn't matter if you're a Buddhist, you're an infidel. If you're a Christian, you're an infidel. If you're a peaceful Muslim, you're an infidel. You have to believe in jihad and Sharia law. Don't let them lie to you. Save this planet. Save your country. Save it for your children, and you start in your own home. Stop depending on the government. And stop feeling pity for the ones that rather beg than to go to work. And stop feeling pity for illegals getting arrested. Don't give in to this fake violence from ICE. They resist arrest. They hurt ICE. Our federal agents, our American federal agents are being hurt by illegal immigrants and those sympathizers, American citizens that we have residents, maybe who knows, maybe they're illegal as well. They go out there and protect the criminals, protect the illegals, and they're causing harm to our ICE agents. You're in my American family. Illegal immigrants hate me because I am a migrant. The difference is my mother waited 5 years. We went to the American consulate twice at the embassy. We were make sure that everything was vetted correctly and that we could support ourselves here in the States, and they allotted us. My mom was against welfare from day one. We applied for a green card, we got it. I did not become an American citizen until I was sure that I loved this nation and its people. And it took me 2.5 decades to make up my mind to apply for citizenship, and I got it. And with that privilege, my friends, comes great responsibility. And my oath was to stand up for this country and fight for this country. You know what's the one question that I ask people when they're migrants and become legal citizens of this country, or they're here illegally, or they're visiting? I ask them when they say they want to be in this country, tell me one thing. I just got one question for you. If we were to go to war against the country where you come from, who would you defend? And when you answer that, that is the country where you belong. The answer, it's always the same one. Every Mexican that comes in here to the United States of America that does not love the United States of America, they always choose Mexico. Not because Mexico would be right. The simple reason that we are at war, and that is not enough. Well, they asked me, well, let's flip back the table. Who would you defend? 100% the United States of America. Why? Because we wouldn't go fight our innocent people. We wouldn't go fight civilians. We will go fight the tyrannical government who is trying to threaten this nation. You see the difference? It's like having a girlfriend or a wife, and then you ask them, why do you love me? I love the way you talk. No, why do you love me? I think you're a nice guy. Okay, that's awesome. And they ask me, why do you love me? The answer, you complete me. Your support makes me stronger. Your love makes me a real man. Your caressing and your touch makes me feel like a real man. Being with you completes me. That's how you answer. And that's how I became an American citizen. I waited until I was sure that I wanted to be an American citizen. And I'm very thankful for the privilege to have become an American citizen. So I will say this. If you really want to help illegal immigrants, you got to tell them, self-deport right now. Get the app. Gather your things. Sell whatever you acquire here and take that with you. You get a free plane ticket. Nobody does that. You get $1,000 once you arrive there. Nobody does that. This administration has been the most transparent. The president has actually gone to work. Sure, he goes golfing. So what? Let him. President Biden was at the beach for 3.5 years, and the digital payment was hard at work. Didn't do one thing to help us. Before over 20 million illegal immigrants came to this country, our economy was doing all right. Job unemployment was low. Biden comes in, that goes up. Inflation goes up. What does Brains Kamala tells us? Oh, you guys are paying more money now because, the economy is good. Inflation is so high because the economy is doing really good. Now, I know that you got common sense, and I know you know that's not how it works. Inflation says there is a problem in the economy. And what is the biggest problem? Housing. Housing is a big problem. And what is the big problem? Your local government loves to do taxes. Raise the tax on the rich. Raise the tax on the businesses. Let's regulate businesses. Let's charge them more. The more they make, the more we punish them. And then you go and charge and you put all these regulations on realtors that want to build buildings, apartment, and all this housing available for hardworking Americans, and they force them to make low-income housing, which means that they want to house lazy people. I am all for veterans. I am all for people that are disabled. I am all for people that really need it. Let's do it. Let's build a better America. Let's build it and make it great again. Let's do that. But we not have enough housing, enough building, because the government is taxing the crap out of everybody. And what makes it even worse, the government shutdown is making it fantastic. We can tell who is screwing the American people, and I hope they're paying attention, because it's not Trump. It's not Republicans. When you have a massive illegal wave of immigrants, what do you think happens with the housing crisis? What do you think that happens with expensive food? The supplies deplenish a lot faster. They get depleted. And the higher demand, the higher prices. The more gas you go pump, the more expensive it's going to get. The more food you buy, the more expensive it's going to get. The more housing you need, the more the rent is going to go up. The more property taxes they put on you, the less people want to own a house. I know people, oh my gosh, I know people that own their houses and are paying $3,000 a month in property taxes. But you own your house. You already paid the taxes when you paid it. The taxes are done. How is it possible, my people, that you're going to pay $3,000 a month for a house that you own? That you own. It's yours. It's like me. I go and I spend $5,000 for my camera and lens. I pay taxes. But because I want to keep it, I got to keep paying taxes on it. It makes no sense. You should be able to buy a house, fix it up, keep it for as long as you want, because there should be no property taxes. Unless they're going to do something on the street right in front of you. I get that. But that's why everybody else pays taxes. Because when I drive by your house, I want to drive on pavement. So my taxes also should be helping to make sure that all of our communities are paved. Mandani in New York is doing the complete opposite of what we need to do in America. Not once did he say American citizens. Not once. Migrants, 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 and a migrant. Not once did he say American citizens. I will play that video again for you.
New York will remain a city of immigrants, a city built by immigrants, powered by immigrants, and as of tonight, led by an immigrant.
There you go. Did you hear American in that speech at all? Did you hear American citizen in that speech at all? Listen, I am a migrant that became an American. I am no longer a migrant. I am an American citizen, whether people like it or not. Everybody that's come to this country, at some point, they were a migrant. Now they're Americans. And you got to fight to defend it, tooth and nail. How is it that an immigrant that became an American loves this country more than actual Americans born in this land? I don't know. It just doesn't fit. It doesn't fit for me. You know, it doesn't matter how many times I explain the price gouging, the tax raising local by the governor, etc. It doesn't matter how many times I explain it. When they blame President Donald Trump, everybody that hates him believes it. Why is that? See, my patrons in here, they know me. They've been with me for a few months already, and they know me. And they support me. And I thank you guys for subscribing. I thank you guys for liking the video. Thank you for being with me. One thing you will know is this from me. I am very passionate about everything that I do. And I can tell you right now, nobody can take my love away for the United States of America and its people. But I will spank some when they need a spanking. We have to love and we have to be disciplined about how to protect this country. If you don't have the strength or the will to be able to deport somebody, let the ICE agents handle it. Thank you, Elvis. You're awesome. Appreciate that. Thank you, Trinity. And make sure you keep those off. You are Americans, and you deserve better. You know why we say make America great again? Because there was a time where these Democrats and Republicans put America first. There was a time where you were being prosperous. There was a time when one person working was enough and that you were able to own your own house. There was a time where Washington State, you can bust your hiney off. In 30 years, you bought your house, you paid it off, all yours. And they raised property taxes, and they raised it again, and they raised it again. I don't want to see that here no more. I want you guys to think about your country first. If you don't know how deals are made, if you don't know that we have to help certain countries that we are going to benefit from, that is putting America first. Freshly Wild, 45 and 47, baby. Is that, am I right? Yeah, that's right. It's on my right there. Bam! Amen. I wish I can talk to Mike Johnson to tell him what a wonderful job he's done. Matter of fact, you just reminded me. I have to go check my X account. Let me see. Where is my tab for my X account? Hey, man. I love you too, brah. I love you too. All right, let me find this real quick. Let me get there. Let me read this article really quick. This is USC 1612-8. It states that qualified aliens are generally not eligible for specific federal programs. If you don't know what that means, is that states are giving benefits to illegal immigrants, but the problem with that is that they use the federal funds that is not supposed to be for that, and that's how they do it. We don't want that. You go to my X account because I want to show you a video. I think it's very important. Let me see if I can get there. I don't want to show off any of this bad crap from before. I'm going to be specific about Mike Johnson. Oh, and by the way, this lady that you see here, she's not an American citizen. She says that she was illegal, and so were her parents. Well, guess what? She is the mayor of St. Paul, Minnesota. Americans, you are losing your country to illegal immigrants. You cannot stand for that. Right here.
Man in America lives in a $3,000 a month house? Yeah, you heard that right. His name is Mike Johnson. He did 3 things that'll earn him the respect of Americans forever. 1, he donated his entire $223,000 salary. Mike gave away 100% of his $223,500 salary. He also turned down his $250,000 speaker bonus and gave it all to flood victims. He only keeps $10,000 a year for basic needs. The rest goes straight into housing programs for homeless veterans. So far, he's paid over $500,000 in rent for 70-plus vets. 2, he runs the cheapest office in D.C. He cut $1 million from his office budget. Flies economy, sleeps in $60 motels, and when he saved $80,000 in expenses, he gave it all to a local food bank. 3, his whole family lives to give. His wife turned their garage into a free cancer counseling center. On holidays, the whole family volunteers at shelters. And their kids, they've been sent to disaster zones to help with rebuilding efforts. No cameras, no press, just heart. Real power isn't about fancy titles or private jets. It's about using every dollar to help someone else. Think Mike Johnson deserves some love? Comment Mike to show your respect.
How many Democrats done that? How many immigrants have done that? Go on, this is your moment to shine. How many immigrants have done that? How many Democrats are doing that right now in Congress? Who is keeping Americans hostage so they can leverage on President Donald Trump? You say it's lies, it's facts. They're all facts. Common sense if you have any. America first. Why bail out Argentina? An investment. An investment. And I just mentioned that, but you don't listen. You just here to see what you can attack. I am here to speak to the people that want to listen. And then judge for yourself. Very simple. This is what they're doing. Your Chuck Schumer shutdown. This is exactly what's happening. Sorry, kid, I need this for leverage. No SNAP for kids that are hungry. And then they go and tell you, the American people, that you made a mistake for believing in America. Immigrants are more important than you, and we see that big example in New York. This is what they want, because this is how they make the money. Pimps need prostitution. That's how they make their money. Mandami supports them. Criminals need less police. They fund the police. They lie about Jews in New York, and even Jews believe their lie and vote for him. Pathetic. Very pathetic. Chuck Schumer, now that is what I call a traitor to his race. This guy threw Israel under the bus. Now I'm gonna bring this video here.
I am just not.
I'm gonna start it from the beginning. Just a quick clip. Because I wanna mention something that Americans need to learn, and Congress needs to change a law. Listen to this jackass.
Church is finally here. None of this would be possible without y'all and God.
You celebrating tonight?
I am just not with y'all.
Some church guy. Now, whether that video is real or fake, I don't care. But we have gone from a place where freedom of religion, by all means, it's great. And I believe in it. But they got to pay taxes. They got to pay taxes. Imagine the wealth that churches, mega churches that are not really giving anything back to our country, they're giving pastors and all these leaders Rolls Royces, private jets, multiple for some that are very popular. Those people, I will put a cap on the money because they're living off donations. Not from the books they sell, but from donations, offerings, tithes. Those should all be taxed. It will bring probably billions of dollars in taxes. But I would just say hundreds of millions of dollars back to our nation. Religious groups have taken so much advantage of the system that these Muslims in Texas have the money to build a whole city in the United States of America. What the hell are we doing to stop this madness? Do you want to see this country turn into some Asian Muslim country where they beat people in the parks? You think ICE arresting illegal immigrants and those citizens obstructing justice that are fighting their arrest, resisting arrest, you think that's horrible? Wait till you see Sharia law. And you think, oh, you know what? That's not such a bad thing because it's gonna force people to behave. No, that's not how it works. You know what? I don't like you. Hey, buddy, come here. I want this woman to get beat down. I'm going to accuse her that she's cheating on me, and I need a witness. Okay, how much? Well, here's the money. Yep, I saw her. She was cheating on you. And there's nothing that she can say because women are second-class citizens. They have less rights than a dog. And the only reason why they allow women to speak right now is because they're using them to play on your emotions. But let me be clear, when it's time to rule, when it's time to put mandates, they will bend that knee. And they will respect their leader. Just like Ilhan Omar in Minnesota. She belongs to Somalian president. She's still, I think it's about Minnesota. I might be wrong about the state. I think it's Minnesota. She denies our government and speaks out of her own mouth. Dearborn, Michigan. Thank you, Trinity. Dearborn, oh, that's right. That's where all the Somalis are. She speaks against us and elevates Somalia. The moment that we stopped, Trinity, stop giving me wrong information. You're making me look bad over here. I was right then, all right? Okay, I was right. You're killing me, woman. But they have, it threw me off what the hell I was saying. But she goes and she puts Somalia first. Let's be clear. She became a citizen fraudulently. She lied on the papers, which means she's not really an American citizen. But what do we care? We have an illegal immigrant that says I am illegal and my parents are illegal, and she still became the mayor of the town. How do Americans, thank you, Eric, how do Americans allow illegal immigrants to take positions in government? You let illegal immigrants that have no patriotism and they don't fight for the American people, they fight for illegal immigrants. How do you let them rule over you? Man. They can't deport me, Edwin, because I'm not illegal like you. Thank you for stopping by, sir. Bye, Felicia. This is MAGA Nation, and if you are not MAGA on this chat, you are welcome to leave. My voice is for true American patriots. It's not for Democrats. It's not for Republicans. It's for patriots. You can be a Democrat, Republican, Independent. I don't give a shit. But you have to be 100% for Americans first. Otherwise, you don't belong in this live, in this chat. And you can take your freedom of speech and shove it because you don't really respect that. I hope that you guys are not just listening to me. Do your own research. Go read what the One Big Beautiful Bill has to offer. Read it. Don't listen to their lies. You have to. You have to do it for yourself. You won't be able to know the truth unless you seek it. That's what I think. I will go ahead and take some questions if you guys have any questions. Let's take a look here. Let me read some of my members in here. Except for Trinity. Give me wrong information here. Derek says, you are completely gaslighting viewers. Thank you, Derek, for stopping by. Nice of you to be here. Vern says she needs to go home. Okay. Yep. Rubio, let's go. I 100% with that. Noam, 100% support him. Yep. Okay, so Muslims are in Dearborn, Michigan, and Somalians are in Minneapolis. Somalians are Muslims as well. Boy, man, either one, both Michigan and Minnesota. Texas is next. New York already fell. It doesn't matter if you're an American citizen in New York or not. Doesn't matter. Yeah, if the chat is slow, get rid of the people that are negative. I want to hear from Americans to tell me what can we do to continue to fight and to keep moving forward. You can put Gary in timeout, Trinity. That's fine. I want to hear real questions. Thank you, Rush. When you speak the truth is what happens. All right, let me see if I got some questions. Questions. Agus, what's popping? Let's see, Wendy. Let's see what Wendy says. Many of these comments seem to point to the host being uninformed. Tell me, which one am I uninformed on? Besides Minnesota and Michigan. I'll give you a chance. Go ahead. I'll look for your message. Fix America. We got to fix it. And one way to fix it is to get rid of all illegal immigrants. That's how you start fixing your house. You see, before you can start reconstruction of a house, you got to demolish it. And then you got to clean it up. And then you can start building completely from scratch. Let's see. Thank you, Michael. Appreciate you as well, my friend. Love all the patrons that stopped by tonight to say hello and listen to an immigrant that has the privilege of being an American citizen trying to defend this country for you and your future children. You guys got to look for your future children, man. 100%. My children are all American. Not only because they were born here, but because I was an American. Because I was a resident. I was a legal resident When I became an American citizen, they told me that if I had children anywhere in the world, they would also be Americans. That's how it works. So I believe that if illegal immigrants come here and have children, those children's nationality is that of their parents. Constitution needs to be amended. It was written very, very long time ago. Needs to be amended. It also needs to redefine that the Constitution is not just for persons, even though I understand it to be Americans, but it needs to put the word American citizens and residents, if they want to put it that way. Persons is too vague. It's too vague. The enemy can take advantage of that and use it against us. As a matter of fact, they have. They use the American Constitution has been used against Americans to defend illegals. How does that work? Mayor, illegal. Mondani, he is illegal. You don't know yet, but they will find out. God bless America, whether people like it or not. If you, oh, Wendy, you put a comment? Let me see. That's not an answer. Wendy, stop wasting time, Wendy. Why do women, why is it mostly women and there's a lot of men that act like women? What is it with women? You tell them that you're going to give them a chance to talk and they're still talking the same shit. You're uninformed. That's not communicating. I already know. You told me that. Give me a question. Show me something. It reminds me of that one video from Charlie Kirk. This girl came in there with an attitude and say this and that. Why are you telling me this? Okay, fine, I'll let you talk. See, you don't let me talk because and Charlie Kirk stay quiet. And she kept saying, see, you're doing it, right? He's not talking. And yet she doesn't know how to shut up about her complaining, her whining, and her bitching. Make up your mind and then put it down again. If you want to be known, put a super chat. Stop being cheap. I know you're waiting for SNAP benefits, but put a super chat. Don't blame me when I got hundreds of comments going through. I don't work for free. Thank you very much. I appreciate people that give me the time to answer. The ones that give me support. If you want to come in here and be entitled, you're in the wrong freaking chat. Go to a Democrat chat. This is MAGA Nation. Again, this is only for Americans that want America first. Everybody else, get the hell out of my chat. Don't demand something if you're not paying for something. You want to go against me, you're more than welcome. But stop demanding shit. I can't read all the comments at once. I'm not even reading most of the comments from my own members who actually are paying to support me. Bye, Felicia. You only want people that agree with you. 100%. That is correct. So what about it, Vapor? Why do I need people to agree with me? Because I'm trying to make America great again. We need real patriots to come together for this country. Now, if they have questions, we got answers. But we got to work together to bring America first. And then we'll fix every other problem that we have. Very simple. If somebody is in this country illegally, they need to self-deport right now. If they don't, and they decide to wait until ICE catches up with them, they're going to resist arrest. They're going to be slammed on the ground, handcuffed in front of everybody, and thrown in the car. Unless they cooperate and they walk and they sit themselves in the back car, in the back seat of the car. Very simple. If you guys want to inform people, go make your own channel. 100%. I agree with that. I agree with that. I have said it from the beginning. I allow people to ask questions. I don't care about Democrat, Republican. But if you come in here because you hate Trump, get the hell out of my chat. You can disagree with me all you want. That's fine. But when you come in here and there is no real comment, real question, give me some stats. Give me something that I can say, oh, somebody wants to communicate. If I was telling you lies, I'd be on your side. I'd be like, you know what? You're right. I've been lying all this time. I get it. But everything I tell you is true. It's happening right before your eyes. And you still get behind those liars. You still get behind the people that hate you. Why you do that? Thank you, Jose. Let's go. America first. I love my Hispanics for Trump. Why? Because Trump is a great person. No, because he's the only man that is fighting, truly fighting for America. You guys think it's easy to sit here and talk truth and try to make sense? People come in here and they start insulting me and telling me that my accent is horrible. I'm ugly. Oh, my saggy skin. Oh, the black bags on my eyes. Who gives a shit about how I look? It is the truth that matters. I'm not here on a date with anybody. This is not a dating chat. Wrong chat. With that being said, if you are new to my channel, I thank you. And this is actually what we do in this channel. I want to go ahead and give thanks to my members. So I'm going to leave you here with this beat. And I'll be right back. that they do finish the filibuster, man. They need to just nuke it. And we need to pass everything that we need to pass to make this country great, to be for Americans first. That's what I'm looking forward to. Hopefully you guys are thinking the same thing. Guys, if you have been sticking around with me this long, I appreciate you. Thank you for your love, for your support. It is that time. Saturday evening overtime is finished, and I give thanks to all of you guys for being with me. I appreciate you, Trinity, Brian, Rush, my man. Coben, I see you in there. You're not redless. Somebody kicked you. You misbehaved. Huh? Who? Oh, Bernier. No, he's not here. He left a long time ago. God bless America for real with Mike. Let's go, baby. I like that. Hey, thank you guys for coming in. You guys made my night very fun. Got to see a lot of Patriots in here, and I appreciate that. We got to keep pushing forward. I love you too, sister. That sauce, though. Hot sauce in the house. Manuel Correa, man, go have a beer, bro. Relax. Bring that negativity down a couple of notches and enjoy life, my friend. It is the weekend. Rush, babe, my heart to you. Brian, who am I missing? I'm missing somebody. Probably left already. Derek, my man, thanks for stopping by, brother. I love it when I see familiar faces on here. Michael, you're very welcome, and I thank you for being in here. Vern says the filibuster is a double-edged sword. It is. And I'm hoping that nuking the filibuster is gonna do something great for us in America. Guys, all I'm asking, please, make America great again. Really. It's not just a slogan. Americans need to bring back American values. Enough with this whole transgenderism rights and all this bull crap. Listen, they can do whatever they want to themselves. But when I watch parents with a baby 7 months old and say, this is my transgender baby, that person should be in jail and should never come out of jail. Man, oh my gosh, man. I'm going to leave it trying to get some positivity in my heart, in my mind, and I'm going to leave you guys. Have a good night. Thank you so much. I will, what's that? Love you all. Love from my wife to everybody. She is watching, and she says, God bless you guys as well. I'm gonna go ahead and end this this live with the theme that I called The Boss, because all of you guys are the boss, el jefe, el patrón, el mejor, el más chingón. Enjoy like a boss. When I hit on mute, of course. Let's see. Yeah, man, I gotta hire somebody. I gotta hire somebody for this stuff. Here you go.
Haircut.